Yo, what up guys, it's your boy BP Ham, and today we're gonna try to recreate Bon Appetit's Making Perfect turkey recipe. We got our turkey in parts that I cut up in the previous video, so go check that out. This is the recipe that Brad and Andy and the rest of the Bon Appetit crew spent days and days and days trying to perfect. I think they dry brined it, wet brined it, used 3 different types of turkeys, 4 marinades, smoked, fried, roasted, everything they tried. And this is the recipe they came up with, so let's see if it's good enough to be on our Thanksgiving table. To get started here, you're gonna use peppercorns. We got pink peppercorns and black peppercorns. If you can't find the pink, you can use all black, but I really do recommend pink peppercorns. You're gonna use 2 tablespoons of each, so we're just gonna measure that out. My uncle loves to use pink peppercorns on his steaks, and it's super good, and it's really funny because he gets the freshest of the fresh, and sometimes harvest them. I'm not sure if it's legal, but like on the golf course. We got 2 tablespoons of that. And then we're just gonna open up this container of black peppercorns from Trader Joe's and then get 2 tablespoons of that as well. If you have a coffee grinder or a spice grinder, you can put the peppercorns and grind them up in there, or you can do it by hand, but you want fine pieces of this peppercorn. And I would use fresh peppercorns because they just release a stronger flavor, and for Thanksgiving you kind of want to pull out all the stops. Toss in your peppercorns. There's our finished product, and we're just going to toss that into a bowl. It's actually a fairly simple recipe. We're just making a dry brine, and apparently a dry brine works better to penetrate deep within the turkey to make it extra moist and get that flavor all the way through the meat. We grinded up those peppercorns. Now we're gonna add the salt. We're using 1/4 cup kosher salt, an additional 1.5 teaspoons. The recipe is very specific on that. I think because they use diamond kosher salt, which you'd use a little more because the crystals are bigger in diamond kosher. So for diamond kosher, I believe it's around 1/2 cup. Then the onion garlic powder combo, you gotta have this in most of your cooking. So 2 tablespoons each of those. I don't think you have to be too precise on this except for your salt and sugar ratio, because that's what creates the brine for the turkey. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, pack that in, and then 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. I'm not a huge smoked paprika person, but that's what's in the recipe, so that's how we're gonna try it. We got 1 tablespoon of this. That's everything we need for the dry rub, so just grab your hands, make sure they're clean, and then bring this all together. Maybe use a little bigger bowl than I did. Let me switch bowls. Should have listened. The recipe said medium bowl and I got a small bowl, so listen to the recipes. I feel like a lot of people make modifications when they're trying a recipe and they don't end up liking it, so you don't really know if it's the recipe or them, so I try to stay as close to the recipe the first time I make something, just to make sure that it's not me. Really break up that brown sugar so it's evenly distributed. This is enough brine for a 12 to 14 pound turkey. If you have a bigger turkey, just double the recipe, 1.5 the recipe, you know. Do the math, and that's it. That's the dry brine. Now we're gonna put this on the turkey. We have our turkey, which we cut up into parts. I already dried it. We're just gonna pat it one more time to relieve the excess moisture. I have this on a rimmed baking sheet. We're just gonna get the marinated and rub it all over. Try to get some under the skin, under the cavity, all over this. And the excess is just going to go to the bottom tray. Just some on the breast first. Make sure I got a little bit on every piece before I run out. So I'm just gonna put a little on each one so I don't run out. And I'm like, crap. I put gloves on. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it gets a little dicey when you're touching raw poultry like this. Make sure you get in there, really rub that marinade into the turkey. I really love the color that it gives. It's relaxing, kind of. Feels kind of good. And if you don't want to take the time to cut up your turkey, take it to the butcher, ask them to cut up your turkey in 5 parts, 2 legs, 2 wings, 1 breast without the breastbone. They'll knock that breastbone off so it lays flat for you, and that's a lot easier than breaking it down yourself. You also want to get the back of your turkey, get in the cavity everywhere so that your marinade is just perfumed throughout the whole bird. Make sure you get in this area as well. A lot of times people will forget there. Get some under that skin. Any pockets where that skin is open, you can kind of go in there. Try not to tear the skin, but just get some marinade in there. Show it some love, because you're sending love to your friends and family on Thanksgiving, or yourself if you want the whole turkey to yourself. And that's the dry rub. If you had already bought your turkey broken out by your butcher, this probably would have taken you all of like 10 minutes. So it's super quick. Now we're gonna make sure we have enough space in our fridge to stick this right in. You don't want it touching all of your other items in there. So clear out that space, put it in for at least 24 hours. I'm gonna do 48 hours, and then we're gonna come back and roast this up. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. So I'll see you guys in 2 days. We're back for day 2, well, technically day 3, 48 hours later. I took the turkey outside of the fridge a few hours ago to let it come to room temperature so that it cooks more evenly. Before we put that in the oven, we're going to make the glaze that we're gonna glaze every 20 minutes on this turkey while it's roasting. First off, we're gonna get an orange, and we're going to cut 2 1-inch strips off this orange just to infuse that glaze a bit. So I got my vegetable peeler. We're just gonna do a long motion from one side to the other. Keep that pressure on there so that it doesn't break. Oh, and it's nice. I love the smell of orange. Nice and slow, just so it doesn't break off. And if it breaks off, it's okay. You can literally do multiple pieces. We're gonna get a medium saucepan and start building the glaze. This is super easy. You're just gonna dump everything in and then let it heat up on medium heat until it becomes a little glossy. The recipe calls for a 1/3 cup light brown sugar. But before we finish the rest, I forgot the garlic. Get 4 cloves of garlic, and we're just gonna smash them really fast. This is gonna help perfume the glaze. Just get your knife, smash it down. It's okay if they break because they're just going into the glaze. And then the skin should come right off. Now we're back to the glaze. So we're gonna do 1/3 cup of low sodium soy sauce. And the ratios are really easy here. It's just 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. And the recipe says you can use sherry vinegar or red wine vinegar. I know a lot of people don't like that vinegar taste, but it really balances out the sugar and the soy sauce, so make sure that you do use it. Got 1/3 cup here. Pour that in. Throw in that garlic you just grated and those 2 orange peels. Then you just want to put a handful of your herbs in. I think it's easiest to buy like the poultry seasoning from like your local grocery store because it usually has sage, thyme, rosemary, and then you don't have to buy each one of them and use more money. Like you can just buy this one pack and it's a little cheaper. I already have some washed here. So we got our rosemary going in, our sage, and our thyme. Give that a good little stir because that brown sugar clumps to the bottom and it already smells and tastes delicious. It's not even cooked yet. So, gotta find my burner. We got our burner here. We're gonna put this on medium heat and we're going to just let this go for 10 to 12 minutes, nice and slow. Make sure you keep an eye on it because you don't want it to go too fast and you don't want all that water to evaporate, but you want a nice glossy consistency. We're getting close. It's becoming a little glossy and you can see that it coats the back of the spoon. I'm gonna turn this off and put it aside for when we need to glaze the turkey. Here is our turkey. It's been resting for around 2 hours. I'm putting some gloves on. Put 6 tablespoons of oil all over the turkey, and this is gonna help it give it a nice color while it's roasting. Rub it all over the turkey. Front, back, left, right, side to side. Yeah. Meanwhile, we have our oven preheating to 425. While we're sitting in the fridge, it probably leaked a little bit. So if you only have one pan, I would wash the bottom of the pan and then wrap it in foil. Luckily, I have another sheet tray. So I'm just going to use this sheet tray that I already lined with foil. And then I'm just gonna move the wire rack over. You want to arrange your turkey so that everything is on its own and nothing is overlapping. Make sure it's all on the tray so any drippings will go into the tray and not in your oven. Put this in at 425 for 20 to 25 minutes. Flip it halfway through. We're gonna reduce the temperature to 300 and start glazing. Let's do it. And I'm super hungry, so hopefully this doesn't take that long. In the center rack, oh God, almost dropped it. Ow. Set your timer. Wash your hands. 15 minutes has passed. We're gonna rotate the tray for even baking. We're also gonna add 1 cup of water to the bottom of the tray to prevent any burning from the drippings from the turkey. I forgot to do this, but we'll do it now. Oh, it smells good already. So I'm just gonna add in this 1 cup of water very carefully. Gonna finish turning this bird around, and it already looks amazing. 10 minutes has gone by, so we're gonna take out the turkey. Oh, be careful because the water at the bottom, you don't wanna burn yourself, but it already looks amazing. Wow. Woo, baby. Turn your temperature down to 300. Now we're gonna glaze, so get your glaze, and it's thickened up a little bit. Get a pastry brush and start glazing your turkey. Don't overdo it, but make sure you have enough to cover your turkey. We're gonna do this a few times, and that water at the bottom is gonna prevent this glaze from burning to it. I mean, come on, look how nice that looks. Another 20 minutes has passed. We're gonna glaze the turkey again. Ooh, look at that nice golden brown color on the top. We're gonna add another 1/2 cup of water to the bottom, just so things are not burning. We're gonna flip this and cook for another 20 minutes. Another 20 minutes has passed. We're gonna take the turkey out again. Ooh, and that color though, holy crap. We're getting pretty close to the turkey being cooked, so we're gonna temp it in the deepest part of the breast. So it's reading around 137. We want that to be around 150 in the breast and 170 in the leg. We're gonna glaze it 1 more time, so this will be the last glaze. Just get a nice coat on there. And you should have enough for 3 glazes. All right, there is our turkey. I put this in for another 10 minutes after that last 20 minutes because it was temping a little low, but now we're at 150, so total around 95 minutes. We're gonna let this sit here and rest for 30 minutes so we can continue that carryover cooking and get to the temperatures we need for eating, and then we're gonna feast. The turkey has rested, and now we're gonna cut it open and test it out. So just find that breastbone, carve around that breast to let it loose. Oh yes. Follow the bone on the other side. Oh, that skin is super crispy. Hot, hot, hot. Mmm. All we gotta do now is taste test. Mmm. Mmm. Really good. Super moist. Mmm. Even the white meat. Mmm. I think the only thing that you can improve on this, the parts that are getting a little bit of color, tastes a little bit burnt. So maybe if the last 20 minutes you just kind of tent it while you're cooking it in the oven, you won't get that part, and it'll be mostly like golden brown. But otherwise it's really good. The brine really gets all the way through to the bottom of the thigh and the breast, and it's super juicy and moist. So definitely try this recipe out. That's it for today. If you guys want me to test other recipes, please leave the recipe in the comment below and I'll try it out. But if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.